everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here, and if you haven't already and you enjoy this video, please remember to click on the subscribe button and press the little bell so that you're notified every single time that I upload. Not really an introduction today, let's just get straight into today's story time. So as you guys may know, if you've watched some of my previous videos, I've done several videos on my paranormal experiences where I have physically seen spirits or mists or different things, but very often, I think for me anyway, I'm very much sensitive to changes in the atmosphere, and it's very much feeling that I pick up on rather than seeing things. I know most people, when they talk about ghost stories, they like to hear the stories about when you actually physically see a ghost, because that's really exciting. But for me, 9 times out of 10, it's the senses that you're picking up on. It's that feeling that there's something there. So I wanted to tell you guys a story that happened to me back when I was a teenager that still to this day creeps me out because I have no idea what it was. So this was back, I was, how old would I have been? I was still living at my dad's home, so late teenage years. And if you've watched the other videos, you'll know that my dad's house is where I've seen things, my daughter has seen things. So it probably won't shock you to know that this story takes place there. So what would happen is every Sunday my dad would go out for the evening, and my boyfriend at the time would come over and we'd just hang out, like we'd eat dinner together. And then at 9 o'clock every Sunday there was the show called Most Haunted, which was a huge paranormal show here in the UK. I don't know whether it was shown anywhere else around the world, but every Sunday 9 o'clock new episode was on, so we used to sit down and watch that. And this one particular Sunday we were sitting as usual, and all of a sudden the atmosphere changed. Like, it was as quick as that. Just something felt different. The temperature dropped ever so slightly. Something just, I physically sat up because I was like, oh, what's going on? Like, what is this? Now, my boyfriend at the time was very skeptical about this sort of stuff. I think, to be fair, he probably just used to watch shows like that to make me happy. And even he looked at me and said, "Can you feel that?" And I was like, yeah, like, this is weird. This something feels really, really strange. Now, at this time, my dad had a really old dog called Jack, and he was asleep in the kitchen. And all of a sudden, he started going like mental, like barking like crazy. And Jack was he was a quiet dog. The only time really he used to bark is if a stranger or if you tried to bring a friend or something into the home, he would bark. He did not like people that he didn't know. So when he started going crazy at the same time that we were feeling this in the living room, it was like, ooh, like, okay, something's going on here. This is really, really scary. And I said to my boyfriend, my 6 foot tall boyfriend, you know, can you go and see what it is? And he wouldn't. So I had to go in with this tall, strong boyfriend cowering behind me, and we went into the kitchen, and Jack was just stood in the corner of the room just looking and barking. And so I picked him up and tried to comfort him and calm him down. Managed to get him to stop barking, and all the time you could feel like there was something there. Like, there was, you know, when the hairs like stand up on the back of your neck, it was that sort of feeling, even going from one room into the other room. And suddenly my boyfriend said, "Can you hear that?" And I was like, oh my God. So we walked through the kitchen, then you have to go through a conservatory area and then outside. And I opened the door to go out into the back garden, and Bearing in mind, it's about 9:30 in the middle of winter, it's pitch black. Every single bird outside was tweeting and just flapping, and that's all you could hear. I've never heard a sound like that before in my life. There must have been easily 100 birds. My dad's got this huge, like 250 foot long garden with like big trees and stuff all around it. So they're just filled with birds, and for every single one of them to be going nuts when it's pitch black was so strange. And you know what, I look back now and think, I've watched enough horror stories, I shouldn't have gone outside. You know when you watch a horror film and then they open the door and you go outside and you sit there and you think, don't go out there. Yeah, I did that. I went outside. Like, dumb, I know, but you know, we're still here to tell the story, so it's all good. And as quick as all of this started, it stopped. Every single bird stopped tweeting and flapping at exactly the same time, and you could have heard a pin drop onto the floor. It was so silent. And then it was something like, it felt like something had lifted. It was so scary. So we shut the door and went back inside, kind of a bit like, you know when things happen and you kind of like, I don't know what that was, I don't know what's just happened, like you can't explain it. And we went back inside and sat down. Jack pottered back, he went into his bed, he fell asleep straight away. And for about 10 minutes we were just sitting there like, I have no clue what that was. And the best part of this story is, after knowing what just happened, how scary of a situation that was, because it's the unknown, my boyfriend at the time then turned around and went, I can go now, bye. And he got in his car and he drove away and left me in this house by myself, absolutely terrified. And still to this day, I have no clue what that was. I don't think I've ever felt anything. I think for all of the animals, both inside the house and outside, to have picked up on it, and then bam, everything stops, everything goes silent. Like, I can't explain that. I'd love to know if you guys have any kind of theories as to what you think it could be. I would love to know, like, point me in the direction of where I should look for some kind of answers. But it does make me curious as to whether, when you watch these TV shows about ghost hunting or paranormal activity, whether subconsciously that opens you up more. So maybe you kind of open some kind of portals without even realising that you're doing it. And maybe that's what had happened on that particular Sunday evening, I don't know. But in all of my experiences that I've had, I do definitely think that feeling something is 10 times scarier than seeing something. Like when I saw the mist in the red shape in the bedroom, and when I saw the figure of the man as well, I wasn't scared when I saw them. I think that unknown is so much scarier. When you can see something, I think your brain can kind of make sense of what you're seeing. Even if it is something paranormal, you can put a label on it. That it's not scary then, is it? But when you don't know what it is and it's just a feeling, and like I said, it was a really strong, whatever presence that was, it was powerful. For me to feel it is nothing new. I've been having these experiences since I can't even remember when I first started feeling this. Like, this is my entire life that this has been my reality. But for somebody who's a skeptic to also pick up on it, for the dog to pick up on it, for all of the birds outside, like honestly, I can still hear the sound now. Like, the tweeting and the flapping was just insane. It was like, you know that film, The Birds. Is it Birds? Alfred Hitchcock film? Yeah, it was just weird. And overall, this whole the whole experience must have only lasted, I don't know, maybe 60, 90 seconds. That's it. And as quickly as it came, bam, it was gone, it was over. So yeah, if any of you lovely people watching this has any idea what can cause, because my original theory was that, well, it must be a spirit, but for it to be across so many rooms and even out into the garden makes me question whether it was something else or a collective of some kind. I don't know. Any theories are most appreciated. And if you guys have experienced anything similar as well, please do leave a comment down below and let me know. Let's compare notes. So thank you so much for watching. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please, I would appreciate it if you did so. Give this a big thumbs up. Also share it to any of your friends who you think may enjoy this type of content. Thank you so much again for watching. Keep safe, look after yourselves, and I will see you in the next video.